Yep, we down here teaching the Bible. Go ahead, you take a picture.
Okay.
Yep. You know, we did.
That's gonna be my face screen right there.
Oh yeah. That's the spirit right there. Your screensaver? Yep.
Yes, sir.
12 tribes of Israel. We the Hebrew Israelites. You know, we believe on the Lord name Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Father's name. Yahweh Shai is the Son's name. I mean, He exists, and His Son means He delivers. So He coming to deliver us out of this place, this wicked place. You know, He delivering us from our sins, from wickedness. He delivering us from being in hell, pretty much. You know, basically we in hell. You know what I mean?
It.
We working for $10 an hour, shit like that. We supposed to be kings on earth. So our Lord gonna come back and take us back to that state of being kings. They
recognize it, but they don't want to accept it.
They don't want to accept it. They take everything from us, their style, everything about us. We make everything cool, but they don't want to give us the credit for it, you know?
That's all it is.
So we taking it back now. The Bible was taken from us. That's our book. That's our history. That's our people in there. But they lie and they switch it. And they put their own words. They put their own philosophies on it, what they think, they doctrines. But we come in to regain it and take it back. And then we gonna come and take the world back too. So that's coming soon too.
And still treat people right.
Yeah, yep. Because the world rejoices when the righteous are in on rulership. So right now everything horrible because the wicked is in rulership.
Man, they off the chain right now.
Yeah. So
you know what, bro? I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm going up here to the supermarket.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, go get you some food. Yep.
And hey, thank you for working with me, girl.
I got you. Keep the faith. Keep faith.
All with it.
Yep.
All right now, brother.
Yes, sir.
All with it.
Yep.
Thank y'all so much.
Got you. So we gonna hop straight into it. We gonna start off by giving all praise to
Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakradas.
You know, so just a little bit before camp, you know, just we doing the work, man. We not just out here looking good. We not in the back of an alley somewhere high and just putting up videos. We not in the middle of the forest, you know, putting up videos. We right here downtown. We doing the work. We talking to brothers. Like that's the spirit. What that brother say? He took a picture. He said he gonna put that as his screensaver. That's the 12 tribes church. That's all it takes is a seed. It ain't for us to stand over somebody like, you gotta follow the truth right now and come down here. That's not for us, man. All it is for us to do is to plant the seed. The Lord determines who wake up to the truth or not, man. Not us. We just vessels. You see what I'm saying? So we plant the seed, just something just as small as taking a picture of the 12 tribe chart and saving it as your screensaver may have you wondering, okay, we the Hebrew Israelites. And a man could be saved just off that. Yeah, you know, we strive to be prophets. We strive to be men of the Lord. But we ain't the only ones that's going to get saved. Just the ones that are on the highways and byways. You got millions of Israelites, the multitude that's going to be saved. A man could be saved just from being a prophet helper. Just by giving us faith to keep going. Just by coming down, taking a picture, and he might go show somebody else that picture. And the Lord may say, hey, you know what? I want him. It's all up to the Lord. You could be down here 100 years teaching, and the Lord could say, I don't want him. So it's all up to the Lord.
This Luke 14:23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. So when the brother took a picture of this, you know, this sign drew him in. Hey, can I take a picture of that, brothers? And he was like, oh yeah, right. And then you never know, later on today or in the future, he might see that picture, you know, when he sober up a little bit and might dwell on that. And then that might, you know, like the brother said, plant that seed even further.
Yeah. Just that little seed, like we right here downtown. They got the ABC, LGT, you already know, right? They got them boys over there. They got a parade going on downtown. See what I'm saying? They can have a parade downtown. We couldn't shut down downtown for a Hebrew Israelite parade. We couldn't do that. They never approve us to do no shit like that. They say it's a hate group and they can't do it. But these people, they could come out here and they shut down the whole town. You can't park. Only they could park really. And then they close the whole road down just for them to sit around and look at each other. They ain't doing really nothing productive. You see what I'm saying? But we couldn't get no permit to shut down downtown to do that. They ain't even want us standing right here. You see what I'm saying? Teaching the truth. You know, but like I said, you know, because we had a guy that said, y'all not being adventurous enough. We're like, we in the middle of the capital of Illinois, which is not Chicago, it's Springfield, Illinois. Springfield is the capital of Illinois. We here, and we in the middle of the city, downtown. It don't get no more adventurous than this spot right here.
Yeah, everybody that's down here right now, that's in our view, they see us right now.
Yep.
We right here. I know we sticking out like a sore thumb. We
Two black dudes with
robes.
With robes, with garments on, with Bibles up here, with a camera. Everybody, come on, man. They take pictures of us, all type of stuff. So this is super adventurous. Just letting you know, we ain't hiding. You know, we could be like around the corner somewhere on the back street. We could be, but no, we right here in the middle, standing bold for the Lord, man. We got to, because we got to understand the blessings that the Lord put in our lives, man. We all be going through like shit like that, be close as fuck, and you just barely make it out of it, and you be like, man, look, the Lord looked out for me on that. Right. So then when the Lord does that for you, you gotta say, hey, you know what, man, let me go do what the Lord told me to do. Let me stand bold for the Lord. I don't give no fuck about none of these people, because I know what the Lord just did for me. Because this situation could have went horrible for me, but I barely made it out with pretty much no scratch on me. Like how? Like how did that happen? The Lord was there for you, man.
Yeah, everybody want to show. People be so quick to show their appreciation to man, but don't nobody want to show their appreciation to the Lord. You know, I mean, you got to think, right? Everything that happens in everybody's lives is directed by the Lord. So good, bad, pretty, ugly, whatever, however you want to look at it, it's the Lord that puts you through that. So if you have anything good, before you do, I mean, like if you have anything good that happened to you, before you do anything, thank the Lord. Right? And then that comes with that fear too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have fear in the Lord too, because then if you fear the Lord, little things like that you will never forget.
Never forget. So we're gonna get straight too. Yeah. I mean, we could cut these motherfuckers on here too, but we'll see if somebody comes up, then we'll cut them. Yeah. The ABC boys, you don't really want to deal with them and mess with them, bro. Like if they come around, then you of course you break down the truth to them, but when they get to that state, like it says in Romans 1, the Lord gave them over to that. Yeah, so when they get to that state, now you trying to take them out of that state, it's you kind of going against the Lord now, because the Lord gave them over to that. It's not much you could do when they go to that state. When you a man and you get to the state where you want to lay man with mankind, the Lord then gave you over with that. You supposed to be cut off. That's why it says, and that's why we going over the laws. It don't say, hey, rebuke them. No, it says they should be cut off and die right away. Ain't no really kind of getting you out of that state, you know. But you know, we'll cut them if they come around.
This is Deuteronomy 17.
We getting to some meat, huh?
Yeah.
Now we starting getting meat. Okay.
Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Right, so that goes back even to Yahushua. He was the lamb unblemished. That's why he had to be blemished. Because really, Yahushua took over all those laws when it talks about sacrifice. Yahushua became our ultimate sacrifice. So when it says he was the lamb unblemished, what it's saying is he didn't have no sin. He didn't sin. He was the only man to ever do it. He conquered that, man. And within that, he conquered death. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he's the ultimate sacrifice for us. So now, today, we don't go take pigeons or doves or anything like that and sacrifice them, because we know Yahushua represents that. You see what I'm saying? We still eat the lamb because we're still commanded to keep the Passover like we read last week. But we ain't gonna go slaughter no lamb. Some camps do. You know what I mean? But we understand that Yahushua is the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Verse 2, if there be found among you within any of thy gates which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman that have wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God in transgressing his covenant, and have gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or moon or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded. And, okay, yeah. Verse 4, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true. And the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel.
Yeah. So what's abomination? We know it's abomination for man to lay with mankind too. I mean, since we on that topic today, you know, so the Lord was real strict about his laws, man. The certain rules like murdering, you know what I mean, or like adultery, or like manlaying with mankind, there was instant punishment for those things, man. That's an abomination. Because once you do the act, you can't take it back. So once one man does a rod into another man, you can't take that back. So they would have been put to death right away, man. Because then that would have put the example out there of you can't do this. It's kind of like Shia, but the Shia law that the Muslims follow, the Arabs follow, it's kind of like oral law. It's just a lesser degree to the real thing. We the real thing. They're just a lesser degree, but they are Hebrews too. You see what I'm saying? They come from Shem too, so they have some similarities. But you know, if you look up the Shia law, they got direct things. They cut people's hands off, cut people's heads off, just instantly. They say that's one of the harshest laws, but it's not. The law, statutes, commandments, man. Originally, back in the past, you know, but now we understand with the new. But see, the great thing about the new covenant is these are going to be downloaded into our hearts, our inward parts. So we gonna follow this perfect. Anything is possible with the Lord, because people say, well, how you gonna follow them perfect? Anything's possible with the Lord. You just gotta wait to see, man. And then we ain't gonna have no sin no more, which means that we ain't gonna have no punishment.
Yep, verse 5. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die.
Till they die. This is the Lord you're dealing with, and they tell you the Lord all love, man. That's a lie. That's been a lie. Anybody saying that don't read the Bible. They never read the Bible, man. The Lord put many men to death, man. Even Israelite men to death for disobeying him, man. Kings, he made examples out of kings. Look up what the Lord did to Nebuchadnezzar. Look up what the Lord did to the king. I gotta find his name. It's Eleazar. No, maybe not Eleazar. I'm missing his name. I'll have to look it up. But the Lord did horrible things to many men, man. That fell by the slain of the Lord. You know. You got it.
Verse 6. At the month of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death.
Right, because 1 witness we don't really know, because people being biased. But that's why you got to get multiple witnesses. Now, that don't mean that just because you get multiple witnesses, y'all right. Because dudes still be biased. Okay, I got my 2 guys and they're witnesses against you. Okay, but he may have 2 guys on his side saying going his way. You see what I'm saying? So there has to be a judgment.
Keep going. Verse 7. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put the evil away from among you.
Okay, Salaki. So this is 2 Maccabees chapter 9. We talking about King Antioch. So look what the Lord did to him, right? Now I want to get straight to the point. This is verse 4. Then swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee. Therefore commanded he and his chariot man to drive without cease and to dispatch the judgment of God now following him, for he has spoken proudly in this sort. So he's speaking proudly. It says that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews. So he said he gonna come to our land and just get the killing. It's gonna be a common burying place because the Jews gonna get put to death. It says, but the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, not the God of the whole world, right? Not the God of the Greeks, smote him with an incurable. What is incurable? He can't get rid of this, right? Incurable and invisible plague. The Lord could smoke you right now with an incurable, invisible plague, man. You don't even know. Ain't nothing they could do about it. You know, it's some plagues that you go to the hospital, they say this so rare, it's nothing we could do about it. You got 2 months. Like cancer. They say it's stage 3, it's this stage, there ain't nothing we can do about it. You got 2-3 months, live your life the best you can. That means who ultimately has the last say? The Lord could do that to any man. He could do it to Elon Musk. He could do it to any of your greatest men that you look up to right now. Right? It says, for as soon as he spoke in these words, a pain of the balls that was readiness came upon him, and sore torment in the inner parts. That's crazy. What's that? That's like it was sore torment in the inner parts, like it said. Right. So let's keep going. Howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging. He still didn't cease, but still was filled with pride. breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews and commanding to haste the journey, but it came, what's that called, hemorrhoids? Yeah, so he basically had hemorrhoids, bro, to death. But he still, like, this dude got hemorrhoids and he's still being proudful and still coming after Jews after he got hemorrhoids, right? It says, but it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were in much pain. He pretty much was crushed. This is what the Lord was doing to him. And thus he that a little afore thought he might command the wave of the sea, so proud was he beyond the condition of man, was now cast to the ground and carried in an horse litter, showing forth into all the manifest power of God, so that the worms rose up out of the body of the wicked man. He had worms, bro. Don't you know there's diseases? Like, if you don't get that shit checked, you can have worms eating at your body. Like, you can have a patch missing out your body and there's worms going in and out your body. There's worms. Like cats, I know cats get like some type of larval worm and it lives in them and you can see it coming out and going in. They got to go in with tweezers and pull the worm out and the cat's still alive. It's just a worm just living there. Shit's gross, man.
Feeding off what they eat, what they consume.
Alive.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. It says, so the man had worms, bro. And
I'm gonna get that one about Nebuchadnezzar when he's done.
okay. And while he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. So his flesh is coming off, and when the flesh come off, you can see the worms in his body. Just like that new show, damn, I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty much the new Walking Dead. I forgot what it's called. It says they getting like bacteria and that's turning to zombies, some shit like that. I forgot the name of it. It says his flesh fell away and filthiness of smell, so he just stank, was noisome to all his army. And the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. No man could be around him because he stank so bad he had worms and shit in his body, bro. It says, here therefore being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride and to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of God, his pain increasingly every moment. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he said these words, it is meet to be subject unto God, and that a man that is immortal should not proudly think of himself as if he were God. So even he bowed down. This was a king over great army. He had to bow down to the Lord and say, look, man should be in subject to the Lord. You ain't on the level of the Lord because what the Lord did to him, bro.
Yeah, because I got a precept on that too before I get that. And the reason why he ain't had no choice but to just bow down, right, is because of this.
You want to find it? All right. Just let me know. So yeah, just like I had a person close to me was kind of saying we are our own gods, but he's saying that in the way of we don't have to follow the Most High God. And this is a perfect example of what we just read and what we about to read. Yes, you do, bro. Whether you agree with what the Lord do or not, you got to follow him because he got power over you, bro. Well, I don't like that he makes innocent things suffer. Who's you to say that they were innocent? That's the Lord's judgment. You can't condemn the Lord on what judgment he makes. Does not the potter have power over the clay?
Right.
And this is the perfect example because the Lord got power regardless.
Isaiah 43:13, he says, yeah, before the day was I am he, there is none that can deliver out of my hand. So once he realized that it was nothing that he could do to help himself or the condition that he was, being plagued with, he had to bow down. And that's just simple as that.
Don't we see that all the time though?
Yeah, come.
And like even modern day life, the toughest dudes on the street, but then when they go to jail, what?
It's over with for them.
what they be saying? Now they want to cry on the Lord, right?
Yep, come.
Look at Tory Lanez. Now he begging, don't take my life away from me. You know he in there praying to the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, what, he locked up?
Tory Lanez,
yeah. Yeah, I knew he lost the case, but I didn't know they had put him in custody.
Yeah, he went right into custody. After you lose the case, you wait for sentencing. You go into custody. You go home. And wait for sentencing. Let's go on until you get sentenced. Yeah, I mean, but we see that example with the toughest dudes. I'm talking about they straight killers out here on the street. They killers out here on the street. Like, I got this many bodies I'm scoring, and then they asses get locked up, and then now they praying to the Lord now. Or if something bad happened to them, now they praying to the Lord. God, why? God, why this? And we gonna see this at the end. We gonna see a lot of proud people, you know, a lot of scoffers. When the end come and life just gets so hard for them, especially women, they gonna be praying to the Lord. That's all they go, God help us, please. But you wasn't trying to hear the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. We gotta start acknowledging the Lord more. This is a precept on what the brother just read. This is an account of Nebuchadnezzar that he brought up. I'm gonna start at verse 28. This is Daniel 4. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar, right? It says, at the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. So since he was giving himself credit for him being the king and how everything was going, as far as his kingdom was going, the kingdom of Babylon was going, he was giving himself all the credit. He wasn't giving the Lord none of the credit, and the Lord was displeased with that. And this is what he did to him. Verse 32, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee. So, and 7 times shall pass over thee until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So for 7 times passed over, I mean, that's like 7 years, right? That would be considered 7 years. So for 7 years, this would happen, right? He was living like this. Verse 33, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till the hairs were grown like eagles' feathers, and his nails like bird claws.
Damn, he looked like a beast.
So he was out there. He went from being the king, living amongst people, to eating grass, living amongst the beasts of the earth, because he didn't acknowledge the Lord for being the reason why he was in the position he was in. You can't play with the Lord.
And these men were kings, like how Donald Trump was when he was during their time. They was, you know, compared to that. These was kings over great armies, you know, rich. All the women, all the drink, all the substance, had a whole army of men behind him. He was king of Babylon, man. They was taking over shit. They was in rulership, man, during this time. So I'm just trying to, you know, paint the picture of what position Nebuchadnezzar was in, to where he fell to eating grass, man. So it's just showing you, bro. Even with King David, man, was humble, had to be humble by the Lord. King of Israel during this time. You know, this is Zechariah chapter 7, verse 9 says, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. So that's why we going into the law, statutes, commandments, because that's what true judgment is based off of. It said, thus speak the Lord. You got to listen to this when it says that. You got to execute true judgment, man. You can't just do what the fuck you want to do, man. And that's the problem with Israel. Because you think you a guy, and you think you a Lord, so you could just do what you want to do, or whatever inspires you, or you make up your own reality to do what you want to do, man. You can't just do what the fuck you want to do.
And a lot of people, they think just because, you know, they've been you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been fucking you know, like walking through life, you know what I'm saying, and things been kind of going good for them, so they think they got it all figured out, and that they don't need nobody else's help. They don't need the Lord's help. They've been figuring it out off their own consciousness this long, so why should I have to go? And then that's where you get messed up at. You know what I mean? So you can't never put yourself before the Lord, and you can't never trust your own instincts over the Creator's, because He created all things. You know what I mean? So you know He know best.
Yeah, and that's what went wrong with Israel. That's why we in the predicament we in. We got too prideful. And the Lord sent a whole nother nation against us. And they whipped our ass, put us in slavery, killed us, murdered us, raped us, took our lands, took our anything of substance we had, and had power and rulership and reigned over us even to this day. Because we were so proud against the Lord. And niggas still want to be proud. You done tried everything in your life but follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord.
For real though.
And you done failed at everything you done tried, but you just can't try this. That's because you mad at the Lord. But you putting the responsibility on the Lord rather than taking responsibility yourself for what we did as a people.
Yeah.
You putting it on the Lord.
Yeah.
We went in a covenant. When you go in a covenant with the Lord, this was with blood, man. It's a blood covenant. And we say, look, hey, when you go into this agreement, I'm going to give you everything on earth. You're going to be the top people, most holiest people, strongest people on earth. All you got to do is follow the law, statute, commandments. We agreed.
Yeah.
Once we agree, if we don't hold up our end, then there's a punishment, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So we didn't hold up our end, and the punishment was the opposite. All these bad curses are going to come upon you if you don't. It's just like if you go get a contract with a bank. See, our people so horrible, they want to run off on the plug. They think they can run off on the Lord.
Right.
You can't fucking run off on the Lord, man. If you go get a contract from a bank for a car loan, they going to say, look, you get to have this car, you got a Corvette. You get to drive it, you get to go to the racetrack in it, you get to do whatever you want on this car, make this payment. You stop making that payment, what they going to do? They going to come take your share repo, and it's going to hit your credit. Those are the punishment of you agreeing to this contract and not following.
That's one more thing, and that be the problem. We got a problem with the Lord and the laws that He set up with. Right, most of the time when you see brother, right, that's why you see right now you got this pride fest going on right across the street from us, and people taking their kids there. You know what I'm saying? Even though in the laws it tells you that that's against the law. So this thing that they make it pretty much a holiday, people don't see nothing wrong with it. And if you show them in the Bible where the Lord said, who they said that they believe in and that they love, they'll tell you that they'll just pretty much say, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? My heart's telling me. And so yeah, it just be they don't be having a problem with us. It just be they be having a problem with the Lord. But if they got a problem with the Lord, then they got a problem with us because we trying to follow.
Yep. I can ask all those Edomite women right now. They probably all say they either Catholic or Christian.
Yeah, facts.
But they finna go down to a gay parade and celebrate. See, people don't want to follow the Lord, man. They want to make up things and follow themselves. But just like we was telling the brother before camp, we here to take it back, man. We about to take this back, man. The truth. And show them how this is really done. And they hate that. They don't want us to get back in power and be kings and follow the Lord in righteousness. They don't want to see that, man. They don't want to see the Lord come back, man. If He ain't coming back as who they call Jesus Christ. In that image. Let's keep going. Zechariah 7, verse 10. It says, oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother and his part. Because when it's telling you these things, it's talking about your people, the Israelites. This is the law, statutes, and commandments amongst the Israelites. I can't lend usury to an Israelite, but I can do it to another nation. It's a difference, man. The law, statutes, and commandments is within Israel, man. So usury is you owe me $1,000, but you got to pay interest on it. Your interest is 20%, so every day another $200 get added to it. Because every day you ain't paid off, I'm adding more to it. You see what I'm saying? Now if you owe a person something, you owe them whatever that number is in full, right? But you can't keep adding interest to it. We're not supposed to do that to each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, some niggas, hey, you owe me $1,000, bro, a year ago. Now you got to pay me $5,000 because it's been a whole year. As long as he pay you that $1,000 back, he's good. You see what I'm saying? But to the other nations, we can't. That's just a.
I got another precept on that point.
Go ahead.
This Deuteronomy 14:21. It say, "Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of himself." Right? Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates. Yeah. So so I brought that precept out, just letting it be known. To go against, not go against, but to go with your point that these laws is for Israel, and we're supposed to practice them amongst each other.
Yeah, because it said ye should not eat of this,
exactly.
But you could get this to the stranger though. So that's making a difference, right? But okay, let's keep going. Back in Zechariah 7, right? Verse 11, that's the big thing. Verse 10, you should not imagine evil against his brother in your heart. And a lot of us is doing that and guilty of that. Even us, the ones that say we woken up to the truth, is guilty of having imagining evil towards a brother. Whenever you say the Lord's going to do this to a brother, you imagining evil against him because you don't know what the Lord's going to do. The Lord's thoughts is not your thoughts. So where did you get that from? The Lord going to kill you. The Lord didn't say that. So where you get that from? That's you imagining evil. You want the Lord to kill him. And that's a sin. It says, But they refuse to hearken. So even us that's walking up to the truth, we refusing to hearken to these things, and that's why we still here. It says, and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Yeah, they made their hearts as adamant stone, lest they should hear the law. And the words which the Lord of hosts has sent in his spirit by the form of prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried and they would not hear, so they cried and I would not hear, say the Lord of hosts. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier. A lot of people gonna be crying out to the Lord, but guess what? He ain't gonna listen to you. That's why we keep crying out to you right now by the way of his prophets. Y'all don't want to listen. So that brother that came up earlier, he listened to us. So just him listening to us, he could possibly be saved off that, because he ain't him listening to us, it's him listening to the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So him listening to the Lord, he could possibly be saved off that, man. These ain't our words, you know, we just vessels for the Lord.
Back in Deuteronomy, this is Deuteronomy 17 verse 8. It says, if there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come into the priest of the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment.
Right, so this is what made the Levites so important, because this was their position, you know? And the Levites still gonna hold that position in a way. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, we all are priests, a nation of priests and kings, but the Levites gonna play their role. So the Levites, if it was a blood to blood, Israel to Israel, there was an issue, we couldn't figure out what was wrong, who was in the wrong, who was in the right. You would take it to the Levites, and the Levites would pray to the Lord. If they couldn't figure it out, they would go into deeper praying to the Lord, and they would come back with a decision, man. And you had to go with whatever that decision was. Yep. So that's what needed to happen. Just like take Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy. First of all, neither one of them was there at the incident that happened. Neither one of them had anything to do with the incident. But they beefing against each other and carrying it on. So what should have happened when that incident happened between King Von and Quando Rondo? They should have took it. They would have took it to the Levites, or you know, an elder, the elders or whatever. Because you know sometimes it's a mix of Levites, Judah, some other tribes, right? So they would have took it to them, and then they would have said what happened, and they would have said, well, he was at the club, blew out the band, King Von came up, started swinging on him and stuff like that, and then his partner hop out trying to save his guy, Quando Rondo. He didn't know. If I see a big crowd rushing my cousin, I don't know what they doing. I don't know if they stabbing him. How many clubs have we had here that been shut down because somebody got stabbed to death? I'm talking about a big fight, rush out, they get to fighting, and then next thing you know, you see somebody on the floor dead, and you didn't even see him get stabbed up. So I don't know what happened. So he just protected. So they would have took that to the elders. They would have took that to the Levites, right? And then the Levites would have made a decision. They would have said, look, he was in the wrong because he started it. He jumped on it. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to think Quando Rondo probably, you know, they drinking. Wherever they drink, they probably on drugs. You see what I'm saying? So one hit with you drunk, right, in that state, right, could kill you. Right. With you in a drunken state on drugs, and you just out here and you just get snuck and you don't even know what's going on, one hit could, even if he don't kill you, what people don't understand about fighting, you ain't got to kill somebody to hurt them. You could be injured for life, man. Your spinal cord could get broken. An arm could get broken. This is life-changing things, so you can't just go put your hands on somebody because you think, oh, we just fighting. It's just fighting. No, one punch could knock out somebody's tooth, man. And there's laws on that too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking for it right now.
There's laws on that. If you knock out somebody, if your cervix tooth or something like that, you pretty much got to pay for it and take care of it. So what they should have did is took it to the elders. The elders would have made a judge, said, look, he was in the wrong, what the bam, and then they would have made a judgment on it at the end of the day. So that's what we do within Israel. We make a judgment on it. You know, we got to come to the truth, you know, get down to the bottom, even if you got to take it down to elders, you see what I'm saying? Right. So they can make a judgment. But you got these dudes, they just making judgments themselves. And that's what's keeping the war going, you know? When they both know they wrong, because they both know that they neither one of them was there. Like with Lil Durk and their Youngboy, neither one of them was there. So they both know they weren't there and they ain't had nothing to do with it. So why are they beefing? they were supposed to come together and say, hey, look, man, me and NBA, you know, we cool. We grew up on each other's music. Neither one of us was there or had nothing to do with it.
Man, I gotta find that.
Whatever happened, it was some bullshit. It was fucked up that it happened, and let it go. And then they should have came together to advocate against that violence.
Look,
So,
right? It's literally a law. I can't find it. I'm gonna try to find it, but it's literally a law in the Bible. I want to say it's in the book of Deuteronomy, and it's telling you how. So it's literally that same exact account, right? It's literally that same exact account, but it's for so now King Von and Quando Rondo got into a scuffle. They got into a fight, and since they was fighting and they was finna settle their differences by fighting, the brother Lil Timmy who shot and killed him. The people on Lil Timmy's side, Quando Rondo, his team was supposed to hand Lil Timmy over to the people on Quando Rondo's side and let them decide on how they was gonna handle what he just did to they
But the only thing about that is, the only difference about that is it was a big crowd around. So King Von and, which, you know, we ain't gotta go into them that much. King Von and Quando Rondo was not one-on-one fighting. Even if they say, well, King Von was the one at him, but it still was a big crowd. So if I don't know what's going on with this big crowd that's around him, I'm thinking he getting jumped. Like I said, he could get stabbed to death. It's a difference. Hey, let's fight one-on-one. And then we say, okay, that's called what they call that in the world, shooting a fair one. There's a difference when we finna shoot a fair one as brothers. We gonna shake up after we used to do that shit all the time when we was younger. Then we used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a difference from that to I snake you. You don't know what's going on, and I just run up and start rushing. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not cool. You can't do that. It gotta be a fair one. You see what I'm saying? Because Israelites fight, and that's in the Bible how to handle it, right?
Yeah,
So it's a fair one, but that wasn't a fair one. Then you got this big crowd, which is your crowd of people that's around. So it's Lil Timmy. We not making a judgment right now, but as Lil Timmy, I'm not saying he was wrong, because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going on with this big crowd around. I don't know if y'all stabbing him. I don't know what y'all doing to him. So I'm just getting out to help my boy. You see what I'm saying? So there's a judgment that has to be made.
yeah, and that's the law. Now if they would have knew the law on how to deal with that situation, which is telling us about in the book of Deuteronomy, then it probably wouldn't be this ongoing beef that they got right now.
Because neither one of them was in it, NBA Youngboy and Dirt.
Yeah.
Neither one that was there had nothing to do with it. So they shouldn't be fighting against each other. They should have came together and took it to some elders and sat down and got to the bottom of who was wrong and who was right. I'm not saying who was wrong or right, but I'm saying how you're supposed to handle it. You're supposed to go to the elders and make a decision on who was wrong and who was right. You got to sit down with them so they can make the decision on who was wrong or who was right. Not just yourself and go off your own heart, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of details that had to be discussed in that situation. You know what I mean? Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, and that's why Israel. What's up, bro? How you doing? Doing all right?
So that's why we in the position that we in still to this day. You know, because we want to war against each other. We got to come together, man. It's not about individuals. It's about coming together. That's what gives us our power. When we're together. You got it.
This is verse 9. And thou I'm gonna start back at verse 9. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment, and thou shalt do according to the sentence.
And so that's why I'm not making my own judgment say who was wrong or right. Because I don't know all the details. But all I'm saying is they were supposed to go to the Levites, the elder man, and the elder man supposed to come together, pray to the Lord, and then make a decision. Whatever decision came back, they said, Lord Timmy got to be handed over. He should have been hand over. And they said, no, he was in the right because he was defending his family, and he ain't know what, and it's a big crowd. Then that's it. Then the other side got to let it go. All I'm saying is they supposed to come to the elders, and the elders supposed to make a decision, and they supposed to go off that decision.
And thou shalt do according to the sentence, which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall shew thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee. Verse 11, according to the sentence of the law, which they shall teach thee, and
so that's how we used to handle things in the so-called black community in the past, and we got away from that. That's why you see so much destruction in our neighborhoods. So in the past, you know, whoever the elders was of the community was something something to happen, they'd get the youngins together and they'd figure out what was going on, and then they would make the decision.
Meetings. I mean, even when you look back in like the gang culture, right? The gang culture, they used to have, even back in the day, they used to have meetings.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. I mean, all of these in-town gangs right now, I guarantee you can ask them, when the last time, or have they ever had a meeting? I guarantee they'll probably tell you no.
A meeting on what's wrong or right. Exactly. So now today you see just young dudes, they make their own decision. I don't like him, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna shoot him, and then we just keep destroying each other. But that's what our elders used to be for, to separate, to bring them together and make a decision. And usually that decision was to keep them together. You know what I'm saying? Not separate them for a perpetual war.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's wars going on, generations and generations and generations. Just keep going on. And they just keep adding on, so the elder's supposed to step in and say, hey, I gotta stop this shit. Who was wrong in this situation? Who was right?
Enforce the law. And then once they enforce the law, then that's when things will be, we'll start getting better results.
Oh yeah, because when you look at GD, what was their literature? Their literature was based on what? The Bible. Literally. Their literature was based off the Bible. When you look at the Bloods and the Crips, all their literature go back to the Bible, man.
Watch this. I got a precept.
Whoever you look up to, the biggest gangster, they all go back to the Bible, man. They understand it. That's how they were able to build such a huge, powerful gangs like that, because of the Bible, man. Your president swear on the Bible. You go to court, you gonna swear in on the Bible. You get a hotel room, it got a Bible in it, man. It's the #1 book on earth. It's just we gotta take the book back for ourselves, because it's really for us, man. But our people think the Bible goes against us. The Bible don't go against us. The Bible helps us. Don't sleep with another man's wife, because he gonna want to kill you. That's adultery. That's a good law, right? Don't steal from this man, because he gonna want to kill you. That's a good law, right? So the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible gives us order. You know what I mean? Don't sleep with another man. Don't sleep with man. That's a good law.
Okay, look, let me read this precept, right? And then I'm gonna give you an example of where this goes back to as far as gang culture, so we can prove to you that why they had such order back in the day, because they were following this. This is Deuteronomy 25. It say, if there be a controversy between men, and they come into judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked, right? And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face according to his fault by a certain number. Hold on, right? And then verse 3, 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed, lest he should be exceeded and beat him above these with any stripes, then thy brother should seem vile. So it's giving you an account of, if you have like say for instance, me and a brother had a difference, and we brought it to the elders, and they had a judge, right? And they was like, okay, boom, he worthy to be beat, right? So now
they made a decision on who was wrong or right.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so after they make the decision on who was wrong or right, then boom, so they're like, okay, he was wrong, boom. So now he gotta be beaten in his face, or hit in his face, smote in his face 40 times. But he can't go past that 40 times, because if you go past that 40 times, then he'll start looking deformed. So now when you look back into the GD Nation, right? When you look back into the GD Nation, they had something called the pumpkin face, or the pumpkin head. Right? And that's literally what they did. That's literally what they did. They held him down, they beat him in the face, and his face became swollen. But you know, sometimes they will go past it. You know what I'm saying? But you just see, you can see different accounts.
So that's the perfect example, like the brother said, that one of their laws, the pumpkin head, that goes back to what group? The GDs that come from the Bible. They got that from the Bible. So when the elders make a decision, it ain't no I'm riding with him if he wrong or right. If he wrong, man. Yeah. And you gotta stand up for righteousness. So I'm just riding with him if he wrong or right. That's not how it is. When they say you wrong, you in the wrong. That's where the judgment comes from. So he's showing you in the Bible where the GDs, one of their things, the pumpkin head, actually come from the Bible. So a lot of things,
and that's why they had so much order, and that's why that nation was one of the biggest to ever grow out of all the game, because you can actually see they was actually certain things they was following the law.
And what they do, they got rid of the elders. So then they couldn't have have that judgment no more. Now you had young dudes that really didn't know the literature or the law, that was just doing things off their feelings. And the Bible say the heart is wicked. Who can know that thing? So they just doing things off their heart now. So now you see how we are broken down. A lot of people say, I don't want to follow the Bible. Nigga, you follow the Bible. Niggas say they don't want to follow the Bible, but they run around calling themselves GD. You following the Bible, goofy. Because that's the literature of
Certain
GD.
things in there facts. Yeah, I mean, what you think the 6-point star represents?
Yeah, what you think the star represents? But man, or even like with the colors, man, the red and the blue, the house of David, the house of Saul. Like, come on, man.
Facts.
Where you think the name King David come from? It comes from the Bible. So it's just hypocritical because these niggas, I don't believe in the Bible, but the game that you worship, that you live, because some of these niggas die and bang about that shit, right?
Yeah.
It's based off the literature of that group, which is based off the Bible. Crazy.
So even back, since way back before you was even thought of, well, us was even thought of in the 50s, when these men was roaming the streets, and you see what their foundation was. You always gotta have a foundation. You gotta, in order to have some type of structure, you gotta have, like in order to have
the foundation.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, and you can't get it no better place than the word, from the Creator's mouth, which is in the law, right? Let me keep going. Okay, this is verse 11. According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee to the right hand nor to the left.
Yeah, so you gotta take that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes, young dudes, especially young dudes, being they feelings, man. I'm mad at my pops and them now because they say I was in the wrong. Well, fuck all of them then. You can't do that.
And that's what people do to right down today. Yeah, facts.
You can't do that. You gotta accept it. You gonna go, you gonna stand as a man. You gonna plead your case, you gonna plead his case, you gonna have witnesses, and then they gonna say, look, because it's not them. It's really coming from the Lord, the judgment. That's why you had to go to the Levites, because they talked with the Lord, right? So it's really the Lord, so you rebelling against the Lord if you rebel against the decision, man. So then they gonna tell you, they gonna say, look, we heard all the evidence, we heard everything. You in the wrong, you in the right, you getting your 40 strikes. You can't say, fuck y'all, man. No, you just gotta say, in the wrong, you gotta eat it. It is what it is. Get your 40 strikes and move forward, man. Because there's laws where you get put to death, man. So you ain't get put to death. So move forward, man. Learn.
Exactly, because that's what it's gonna do. That's what it is. It's a teaching lesson, and it's righteous, right? Because the Lord is a just God. So the decision that has to be made, or that the decision that the Lord makes is just and righteous, and it's gonna keep us together. Yeah. So after it's all said and done, we still gonna look at each other like brothers. We still gonna, deal with each other if we follow the law. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we don't follow the law, then that's when we get these worldly views of things and our own inner feelings, and then we get to coming up with our own shit, and now we separated. We hate each other until we see the grave. We never speak to each other again, and then that keeps division. We're not supposed to, that keeps us weak.
Division. So we gotta have an order. So that's why our people in the position we in right now is because we ain't got no order. We ain't got no structure. But once we get order and structure, which is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, that'll give us our power back. So like when we were in slavery, the people came over and took this land. They were able to do it because what? They divided and conquered. They came with their false philosophies of the Bible, the Catholic Church. They came with their lies, and they divided us, and that helped them get power to take the land and take the resources. So we still living with those same lies that they gave us to this day. So when we wake up to the truth, when we read it for ourselves, like Nat Turner read the Bible for himself. They try to use Nat Turner to lie to the slaves to control them. Because they knew that we had this love or this zeal for the Bible, because it's really our book. That's why you had the slaves singing songs like Come By Yah, which is short for the Lord name, Come By and Save Us, or Sweet Low Sweet Chariot, which is a UFO coming down to save them, right? So once Nat Turner started to read the Bible, he said, oh no, wait, you guys are wrong. You can't do this. They say you can't come take another person's land. It says that in the Bible, man. That's wickedness. And then put a people in slavery, perpetual slavery, that's wickedness. You can't rape, that's adultery. If this woman got a wife with the slave master raping, that's adultery.
Or a husband.
So yeah, or a husband. So it's showing the hypocrisy. So Nat Turner said, wait, we the Israelites, this is us, man. And then he revolted against them. Once we come together and following the law, statutes, commandments, which is the ways of the Lord, we come together as a people, then we'll come back with our Lord, then our Lord will come back and destroy these people. We can't fight because we don't have fighter jets and nuclear missiles, but the Lord has better technology. The Lord gave them that technology, so he could take it away. He gave them the sword. Esau was blessed with the sword, and he should rule the world with the sword. So we see Esau ruling the world right now with the sword. What did he rule with?
Yep.
If you don't do what I say, I call my police on you. If my police can't handle you, I call the National Guard on you. If my National Guard can't handle you, then I call the Army on you. It's ruling with the sword. But the Lord said you can come back and take the sword from them and use it against them, which their biggest sword is the nuclear missile. So what's going to happen? This place going to be hit with nuclear missiles, man. The Lord going to take that technology and He going to use it against this place. But we got to come back with our Lord. He going to give us a power. Then we'll be kings back on the earth. Keep going.
Verse 12. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister that stand to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel.
Yep, so you gotta follow what the judges come out with, because if you don't take your 40 stripes and you rebel against it, then you're gonna get put to death. So you might as well just, you know what I mean?
So you would rather, just go ahead and get your 40 stripes, get lumped up right quick, lay to fight another day, or refuse to get your 40 stripes and be gone.
To repent another day, man. That's what it's about, is you repent now.
Yep.
You was in the wrong, whatever you did, you repent from it. You still a brother. He was in the wrong, you know. That shit happened years ago. He got his 40 stripes. He repented, you know, and you move forward. But if you want to rebel against it like you see these niggas today, then you're going to get put to death, because now you just be
Verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. Verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee.
right. So as us as Black, Latinos, Native Americans, 12 tribes of Israel, are we supposed to go vote who the president supposed to be? No, we're not supposed to go vote. We're not supposed to vote for the mayor, the governor. We're not supposed to vote for the president, because we can only set king amongst us one that's of us, as king over us, man. So these guys, these woke guys, hey, the black community got to go out there and vote, man. Fuck voting. Nobody care about voting, man. Render to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. His money, his ballots, all that shit don't mean nothing. That's they shit, man. We only can set a king over us that is an Israelite, meaning he come from Native American, Latinos, or blacks. That's the only person that we can set as king over us. One of us, man. Not of them, you know?
Thou mayest...
That's a law.
Yeah, that's definitely a law. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
So we can't set a stranger over us that's not our brother. So
And that's discrimination right there.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
Right there, right there, from the Lord himself. This is it. This is the law. The Lord made the law. That's discrimination.
Yep.
And, or you can say that's prejudice.
We didn't write it. It's in the Bible. We didn't write it. We just reading it. We just follow it. But people hate us because we follow it. Because they don't want to follow it. When it says don't eat pork and don't eat swine, then they say, well, we can eat what we want to. But we see in the Bible where men would rather die than eat pork. Eleazar was facing his life being taken rather than just eat pork, and he didn't want to do it. The 7 brothers that got slaughtered one after another, all they had to do was eat the pork. But they died rather not to eat the pork. So we follow these things, and then we're the wicked ones, we're the evil ones. But of course, we're the wicked. Of course, we're the bad guys in the wicked world. The good guys is the ones being wicked in the wicked world. So when you see our people sell out, they make millions, and they become rappers, they are able to live that life because they're being wicked. So then they get all the great things of the world because they're in a wicked world living wicked. We get looked at as the bad guys because we want to live righteous according to the word, not your feelings. We want to live righteous in a wicked world. So that's just what it is. We really the good guys, but we're looked at as the bad guys. You know what I mean? So like, just like the movie Avengers, Thanos is really the good guy because he wanted to restore order, right? But they looked at him as the bad guy. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Shalom, shalom.
This is
we just up here teaching the truth. Who the Hebrew Israelites, 12 tribes, blacks, Native American, Latinos. We make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, we just teaching our people. We got to follow this law, statutes, commandments. Come back with our Lord, so our Lord can come back and save us. You know, out of this place, destroy this place, because that's what's about to happen to this place. The things that happen to us gonna happen back to them. And say it to the Bible. It say it in the Bible. That's what I'm talking about right there. You know, and that's what we waiting for. But we got to come back together first and come back to our Lord. Yep.
Precept. This Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Right. So like Abraham Lincoln's people, they call good evil and they call evil good. They switched the shit up. They the evil ones because you the one that had a land and left the land that you was at and came to another people's land and started to kill, rape, rob, and take their land. That's evil. But then they call themselves righteous and call us evil. How are we evil for getting vengeance or wanting vengeance or recompense? That's not evil. If somebody comes in your house and threaten to kill and rape your wife and take your house, how the fuck could you be evil for defending yourself?
You're killing him.
Or let's just say he runs you out the house and he successfully take the house, and you come back to take your house back over. How are you evil? It's our fucking house, man. It's so funny when people got food stamps. When people got food stamps and they go to the grocery store and they buy a whole bunch of food off food stamps, and then you see the Edomites in the back like kind of down looking them while they paying for all the food off food stamps when you living off the government. It's our fucking food. It's our land, it's our food, it's our water, it's our air. You fucking stole it. Just because you stole it and got power over it, you know. But then if we rise back up to take it, now we the evil ones. All we doing is taking something that was taken from us. This ain't your fucking land. You the foreign. We're not foreign. The Native Americans, the blacks, which blacks were already over here too. Native American Latinos. This our fucking land. So, you know, you are the wicked one. You are the one in the row. You the foreigner. They say, well, go back to Africa. Go back to fucking Europe. This ain't your land. Just because you got power over it. But, you know, there's a ending to everything. So just like we had power over it, it was an ending. Just like Egypt was the greatest place on earth, it came to an end. So, same thing with America. The Greeks, they were the greatest thing on earth when they were in rulership. They came to an end. The Romans, they came to an end. So America's gonna come to an end too, man, you know? And before the Lord does it, he sends his prophets out to prophesy about it, and that's what we out here doing, prophesying. Shit is just hypocritical, man. Oh, you're a bad person because you don't follow these laws. This ain't, who the fuck is you to make laws in this land? This ain't your land. Oh, you run a stoplight, you're a bad person. Fuck your stoplight. This ain't your land, but they gonna see though, you know? So,
this second Ezra 6.
Because you can already see this place coming down anyways. Right. The holidays ain't the same. The spirit of America ain't the same. You got inflation. Everybody's broke. Everybody's losing everything. All the rich are selling everything and running off to their bunkers and their hills. So you can already see this place coming down, man.
Second Ezra 6:59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
You're killing it with the precepts.
How long shall this endure?
Yep. So we gonna get possession back over the world, man. That's what's gonna happen. That's what the world is trying to stop us from, man. That's what they hate the most. They don't want us to get back. I mean, cause like just like you take the small heads that's in the land, they got sovereignty over the land. So the nations came together to fight for them to get free from Hitler, the H word, right? It took them back to a land and give them millions of dollars and weapons so they got an Iron Dome. Why we can't get sovereignty? Because they know if we get sovereignty over a land, then we the greatest people on the earth. Y'all steal every fucking thing from us anyway. They know we taking off. Why is America the greatest place on earth? Because they have us here, man. Ain't no fucking secret about it. We is what made them the greatest place on earth. Also, the first stock on the Wall Street was what? Slaves. So however great this Wall Street is, its foundation was slaves built off the back of our people.
Just like everything else.
The dollar, the money, everything, the cities. And then if you put our Native American brothers in it was their land. You know, so we just gonna get our shit back, you know? But, you know, like I said, we can't do it ourselves because, I mean, it's, bro, whoever got the best technology will win the war. So we got to come back to our Lord because our Lord has more power than them. He gave them their power. Then that's when we will win. It ain't for us to pick up weapons. We don't, like I said, we don't have nuclear missiles. We don't have fighter jets. We don't have space stations. So it's not for us to do that. That's a losing battle, right? It's for us to get with our Lord, and our Lord going to return, and He going to do that.
Deuteronomy 17:16. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way.
Yeah, so you can't just take everything. Like if you a king and you man in power, you just take everything and leave crumbs for the rest of your people. We not gonna be a nation like that. We all gonna have it in the kingdom.
Verse 17.
I mean, that's what you see these devils do.
Yeah.
They have, like you have Elon Musk, he worth $500 billion, and then they got their own people out here poor. When we get in the kingdom, ain't none of our people gonna be fucking poor, man, and not have a dollar to their name. So that's the difference between us.
Neither shall, verse 17, neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turned not away.
So you can't take all the wives. If you're a king and you're a ruler, you can't just go out there and say, I'm taking all the baddest, finest women, and then I'm gonna leave y'all with nothing. So I'm just bringing it down.
Yeah. So neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Right. So you can't greatly multiply to yourself silver and gold. You can't be Elon Musk worth $500 billion, but you got a person that comes from your same blood, another Edomite, and he got $5 to his name. Y'all can't have that shit going on, man. This is your people. You still gonna live the same life with 100 billion. So take 400 billion and help your people. But you know, we the wicked ones though. We the evil ones. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil.
Verse 18. And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom that he shall write him a copy of this book of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them.
And what's that? That's the Bible. So we read it. We don't just read it. Oh, I read that. You know how your elders be. I read that 20 years ago before you was born. I read
I read it 7
times.
times. When you get to 7, when you read it front and back 7 times, then come holler at me.
You gotta continue reading it all the days of your life, like you just said. You gotta keep reading it so you can keep remembering. Because you read it 7 times. I asked you about this and asked you to read 7 verses you don't know. So that means you don't remember it. You gotta keep reading it. That's why we gotta keep going. We gotta keep refreshing our mind and keep reading it.
It's just like anything else. You know what I'm saying? If you grew up playing basketball and you stop playing basketball for a few months, but your other brothers, they still been playing every day. When you go back and finally go hoop with them, you gonna see that you rusty as hell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep reading, studying to show thyself approved.
Yep. That's a great precept. What verse is that?
17. Okay. 16 to 17. Deuteronomy
16 to 17.
Yep. This the last verse. This verse 20. Oh wait, hold on, wait. Or no, matter of fact, from 16 to 19. But this verse 20 though, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turned not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel.
That's what you said, Deuteronomy 17?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 17. I'll start at like verse 16. Verse 16 down to like 20 or 19. So yeah, man. So there you got several beautiful and powerful ways to handle certain things given to us directly from the Lord, right? The Creator. You know, don't nobody know more than him. Don't nobody know as much as him. So when you got somebody that created, that's the creator of this thing that we call life, and he's giving us instructions on how to live through it, then I mean, it's a cheat code pretty much.
Yep.
You know, so
you gotta
why
follow
not follow
it, not be prideful and think that you know more. You ain't create the earth. Well, I manifest my own destination and my own destiny, and I'm a master of my own reality. But you ain't create the earth though.
Exactly.
And you live here on the earth. There's reality.
You don't know what's coming to you once you get in your car and go up the block and drive up the block.
You ain't create the earth. You ain't create the wind, the stars. But you just a master of your own reality. If you a master of your own reality, when it's raining, make it stop raining. Because you master your own reality. I want it to be sunny. So when it start raining, say, if we all get together and we agree we want it to be sunny right now and it's raining, I want you to master your own reality and make it stop raining and make the sun come back out.
Manifest that shit. Like y'all love that you say.
You gotta manifest it.
Yeah, man, y'all gotta stop, bro.
That shit,
You
man.
gotta stop.
Like, come on, man. But we gonna end it there. We gonna give our praise to
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakakadash.
Shalom.